Have you ever wondered that how these AI models are being trained, like ChatGPT? I'm talking about the infrastructure, not the standard environment. We need AI factories. And it's slightly different from the traditional data center and the infrastructure. So if you're an admin, those who are already experienced in IT infrastructure or the cloud infrastructure, now we have to upgrade ourselves and understand how actually we need to create AI model training workload. And at last, we will discuss what are the roles are going to be introduced new in the market for the infrastructure engineers and admins, and how this particular understanding will help you to prepare yourself and get ready for the future. My name is Vimal Singh, and let's get started. This particular diagram shows how modern AI training infrastructure is built from user at the top and all the way down to power and cooling at the bottom. Think of this like a skyscraper, the top floor where people and applications, and the middle floor we have compute and networking, and the basement where we have storage, power, and cooling. Let's go layer by layer. At the very top, we see users, developers, and ML engineers. And these are the people interacting with the system. Users consume AI services, developers build AI applications, and ML engineers train and deploy models. And they submit jobs, experiments, and model deployments. But where actually these jobs go? They go to the orchestration layer. So this is the control tower of AI data center. And it includes Kubernetes, ML pipelines, auto scaling. Let's understand their particular responsibility. When I say Kubernetes, again, not a new thing. This basically schedules the workloads across many machines and it decides which node runs which job, how many GPU are allocated, when to scale up or scale down. And the ML pipelines basically automates the steps like data pre-processing, model training, evaluation, deployment, and finally the auto scaling. If the workload increases, more compute node are added. If workload decreases, resources shrink. So we can think of this layer as air traffic controller managing thousands of GPU flights. This is important, or I would say most important part. We see at this place we have multiple compute nodes and each node contains multiple GPUs. For example, one node might have 8 GPUs and multiple nodes are connected together. Now comes the key concept, distributed training. So when models are used, like billions of parameters, one GPU is not enough. So training is being split across many GPUs and many nodes. They communicate using all reduce or gradient synchronization. That means each GPU calculates part of the model and then they sync updates across the cluster. This is like thousand students solving one math problem together and syncing answers in every seconds. Now imagine thousand of GPUs syncing gradients in every few milliseconds. What do you think? Will normal networking work here? No, the normal networking won't work here. And that's why we use RDMA, InfiniBand, 100 to 400 Gbps core switches, ultra low latency fabric. And this layer ensures fast GPU to GPU communication, minimal delay during gradient syncs. Without this layer, the training would become extremely slow. So in AI training, networking speed means model training speed. Now let's talk about a storage layer. The AI training needs massive data, and this layer includes your NVMe SSD tier, which is ultra fast local storage for your active data sets and temporary checkpoints. Then we have parallel file system, and this is used for high speed shared access, multiple nodes reading data simultaneously, and the object storage. We also call it data lake. And that stores training data, your logs, metrics, model artifacts, and this can scale to petabytes. So we can think of it like NVMe means your like fast storage, parallel file system means team shared folder, and object storage, massive archive warehouse. Now here is something people forget: power and cooling. In AI training, each AI rack consumes 30 to 80 kilowatts per rack, and that's the huge power. And GPU generate massive heat. So data center uses liquid cooling and advanced airflow systems. The air cooling system will not work here. And without proper cooling, GPU throttle performance or it may fail. So the AI infrastructure is not just software. It's basically electrical engineering plus mechanical engineering. Let's summarize this entire flow. The first we saw ML engineers submit their training job, then Kubernetes schedules it, high speed network synchronize gradients, data is pulled from storage, checkpoints and logs are saved, power and cooling keep everything running, and this entire stack is what enable large scale AI training. Why we are talking about? So if you want to become AI infrastructure engineer or maybe AI architect or GPU cluster admin or Azure AI infra specialist, you must understand this approach and this layers. And technically, you must understand and explore Kubernetes, distributed training, high speed networking, storage architecture, data center power design. Because AI is no longer just about models, it is about infrastructure at a scale. So, in my understanding, AI models doesn't just run in the cloud magically. Behind every large model is a carefully designed AI data center architecture like this one. And now you understand how it works. Okay, so I hope you got an idea how actually infrastructure works for AI model training. If you like this information, don't forget to like and subscribe the channel. Thank you so much for watching and see you in next.